welcome back to Kichu Let's English. Today I'm gonna tell you another interesting story, Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there lived a sweet little girl in a cottage near a wood. Everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood because she always wore a red cape with a hood. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother packed a basket with fresh eggs, homemade bread and butter and a cake. Take these to your grandma who is sick, but be careful, don't talk to any strangers on the way. I won't, Little Red Riding Hood promised. She waved a goodbye and set off. Grandma's cottage is near in the middle of the wood. Little Red Riding Hood was meant to go straight to Grandma's cottage, but she saw many pretty flowers on the way. Red Riding Hood stopped to pick a bunch of flowers for Grandma, who liked flowers. She went deeper and deeper into the wood as she gathered the flowers. She didn't know that a big bad wolf was hiding behind a tree. He was watching her. Sometime later, the wolf met Little Red Riding Hood.
Good morning. Where are you going on this fine day?
He asked. To see Grandma. She's sick, replied Little Red Riding Hood. She had forgotten her mother's warning not to talk to strangers.
Where does she live?
He asked. In a cottage in the middle of the wood, replied Little Red Riding Hood.
Pick some more pretty flowers for her,
the wolf told to her and walked away. When he was out of sight, the wolf ran quickly to Grandma's cottage and knocked on the door. Who is that? Said Grandma. It's me, Little Red Riding Hood, the wolf said in a soft little voice. The door is not locked. Lift up the latch and come in, said Grandma. The wolf did what she said. When the grandma saw the wolf, she screamed loudly. She jumped out of her bed and locked herself up in a cupboard. The wolf picked up her frilly cap, which had fallen down, and put it on his own head. Then he climbed into Grandma's bed and pulled the covers until his neck. Soon there was a knock on the door. Who is that? The wolf called in a weak voice like Grandma's. I'm Little Red Riding Hood, replied the girl. Lift up the latch and come in, dear, said the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood did as she was told and went in. How are you, Grandma? She said and gave the basket. I'm feeling better, dear, the wolf replied. Little Red Riding Hood's eyes grew as round as saucers as she stared. What big ears you have, Grandma! She exclaimed. All the better to hear your sweet voice with, the wolf replied. Oh, Grandma, what big eyes you have! Red Riding Hood said. All the better to see your pretty face with, the wolf said with a smile. What big teeth you have! Red Riding Hood exclaimed. She was feeling a little scared. All the better to eat you with, said the wolf, and jumped out of the bed. You're not my grandma, screamed Red Riding Hood and ran out of the cottage. The bad wolf chased her to the wood. Help! Help! She cried as she ran. A woodcutter heard her screams and came to her rescue. As soon as the wolf saw the woodcutter's big axe, he ran away as fast as he could. Little Red Riding Hood told the woodcutter all that had happened. Where is your grandma? He asked. I don't know. Maybe the bad wolf has eaten her, sobbed Red Riding Hood. But when they went back to the cottage, they heard a sound of knocking coming from a cupboard. A voice asked if it was safe to come out. It's really me, Little Red Riding Hood, she said happily. The grandma opened the door of the cupboard and came out. What a narrow escape we have had, she said as she hugged Red Riding Hood. Then Grandma, the woodcutter and Little Red Riding Hood all sat down to eat the goodies in the basket. And on that day, Little Red Riding Hood decided not to talk to strangers ever again. I hope that you like the story I've shared you with. See you again.